And I'm not sure it'll be necessary, but I'm going to mention anyways, we have a Spanish language translator for audience members who need translation assistance or when addressing trustees or need assistance understanding comments made to trustees during the public hearing. And if you need this service during other portions of the meeting, please speak with the interpreter. And Debbie Moretsky-Love, one of our communication specialists, welcome, will be here and repeat this message in Spanish.
Muy buenas noches, Presidente Williams, Superintendente Karstafen, miembros de la mesa directiva. Estoy aquí para ofrecer servicios de interpretación al español para las personas que los necesitan. Gracias.
Welcome. Thank you. Ken Serafis. You're our first, second, third, our only speaker. Make it good, Ken.
Oh, don't set me up like that. So, because there's nobody else, do I have an extra few minutes? Good evening, Superintendent Karstarf and President Williams and board members. My name's Ken Zarafis. I'm president of Education Austin. And what a difference a year makes. At the beginning of last year, we were just coming out of a RIF where 1,100 positions were eliminated and 1,053 teachers and school employees were laid off. Going into this year, we sense a real positive attitude. We've been assured by Superintendent Karstarf that we're not going after any financial exigency, RIF, or anything like that over the next couple of years, and we're very encouraged by that. We're also encouraged by the reality that we are receiving a one-year 3% increase in our pay, even though the TRE has not passed. The district saw fit to pull 3% out of their fund balance to assure all district employees, classified and certified, of a 3% increase for this coming year in anticipation of a TRE approval a year out from now, which we hope that the board will support and move forward on to see that our school employees, classified and certified, can enjoy a raise that they haven't seen for almost 3 years. We believe that this start of the year is a positive step in the right direction. We just want to see it continue. We want to see it continue throughout the year. And as we talk about TRE, compensation, and employee pay raises, classified and certified, that we have the courage to go forward and ask the citizens of this community to make the decision about a tax increase and not make that decision simply and solely on the board, but that is put forward to the citizens of Austin. And I have no doubt that they will support our teachers, our school employees, and give them the raise that they duly deserve. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Thanks, Ken. Okay, well, now let me move. We have a president's update that I want to mention that tonight, as part of the consent agenda, there is an agenda item for the board to approve an interim special counsel to the board, and this person would serve as legal counsel to the board on an interim basis until the board has had the time to determine how it wants to handle on a long-term basis legal representation to the board. And this action was precipitated by the superintendent's appointment of Mel Waxler as the district's chief of staff last June. And Mel Waxler has served as the district's general counsel since joining the district over a year ago. In that role, he's provided legal and other counsel to both the administration and the Board of Trustees. While the superintendent has determined that Mr. Waxler will continue to oversee legal services to the administration in the future, he will cease to provide formal legal counsel to the Board of Trustees, and therefore the board's action tonight is to ratify the selection of Chris Elizalde, a shareholder with the firm Walsh, Anderson, Gallegos, Green, and Trevino PC, to serve as the interim special counsel to the board. And on a personal note, I just want to take a moment to thank Mr. Waxler for over a decade of service as general counsel to the AISD Board of Trustees. And I've had the opportunity and the pleasure to work with Mel during my entire 8-year term on the board. And even prior to that, when he served as the staff support, he may not remember this, on a district-wide committee I served on about 10 years ago. And I've always valued Mel for his passionate commitment to our district. And I truly appreciate, at least to me and I think the board, his 24/7 availability, his unwavering service, his honest and dependable legal advice and counsel. And we've had some really tough legal issues and challenges to this district over the past 10 years and certainly during my 8-year time. And I really appreciate his dedication to the board and to its members and for his individual and collective counsel. So Mel, thank you. Good luck with your new responsibilities. I'm not sure how you're going to do it all, but the district is very fortunate to have you, and we're better for having you as part of our team. So thanks, Mel. We appreciate it. And I'm going to give him a round of applause for all his work for the district. Thanks, Mel. Okay, now we're going to turn to citizens communication. And this is going to sound very familiar to what I just talked about for public hearing. So if you all want to daydream for a moment or two. But citizen communication is the time we dedicated each publicly scheduled meeting for public comments, and under open meetings law and the rules of this board, there will not be a dialogue between the person's microphone and the board at the dais, but we'll be taking notes. And in order to provide as many opportunities for people to, as possible for within a limited time period, each person will be allotted 2 minutes of time with a maximum of 30 speakers allowed. As is the board's longstanding practice, speakers must have signed up in person and can only sign up for themselves. The board will not allow substitutions of yielding of time to others. As you come to the microphone, there's a device that will light up as you move through your 2 minutes of allotted time. When the buzzer sounds, please take the opportunity to sum up your comments so we can move on to the next person. And each person who's signed up will have the opportunity to address the board. If you wish to address the board this evening, but not called when the maximum is reached, which is not our issue this evening, but just in general, please know that you can submit comments to the board in writing or by email to the Board of Trustees at trustees@austinaisd.org. or by fax, if you're still one of those few people using fax. But the fax number is 414-1486. And we ask whether you come to give a complaint or praise, that you please reference the staff member by position or by abbreviated last name. For example, Mr. D or Miss A, unless you're addressing the superintendent of schools and then board, and then you can feel free to address us directly. And the district is a local governmental body charged with serving the educational needs of all students, and the board's meetings must be focused on meeting that charge. All regular board meetings are televised and rebroadcast over AISD Cable Channel 22 and over the AISD website. And we ask that audience members, whether speaking or not, please show respect for all others at all times during the meeting. And once again, we have our communications department providing a Spanish language translator who can provide assistance to members. Yeah, we'll say it again just in case somebody just walked in, who need assistance understanding comments made to trustees during citizen communication. And if you need the service during other portions of the meeting, please speak with the interpreter. And Debbie, you want to give it one more shot on citizen communication? Just want to follow practice here.
Buenas noches, Presidente Williams, Superintendente Starfield, miembros de la mesa directiva. Estoy aquí para ofrecer servicios de interpretación al español a las personas que los necesitan. Gracias.
Thanks a lot. Okay, we've got 5 people signed up this evening. Pat Epstein, Cynthia Wilcox, and Vincent Tovar.
Before you start my clock, Cynthia's not going to talk.
Okay.
No.
Does Cynthia agree to not talk? Okay. Do you want her speaking for you if you want? Okay. Go ahead, Pat. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, I want to say that as an ex-trustee, an old trustee, this is an exciting and hopeful time for you guys, the start of a new school year. It's always filled with anticipation, aspirations, and promise for each of the babies walking in for that first year of school. The graduates of 2025 kind of makes us all. So, but looking at you sitting here, the deciders, I wish you and everyone who works for AISD greatness, because together you must accomplish the one thing essential to the future of this country, and that's educating our young. That said, I'm Travis Country's designated spokesperson with regard to the AISD property located in our neighborhood. Only one speaker, so we don't take up too much of your time. I'm a member of the Travis Country HOA Board of Directors, the governing body that's elected to represent the interest of about 4,000 voting members in our neighborhood, majority of whom have communicated their support for the conservation of this property. We had previously been told that you guys were going to be voting on an extension, about this property, but and for that reason, our HOA board voted to come down and request that no more future extensions being granted. We did find out just recently that no future extensions are being given after Friday, but we decided we wanted to seize this opportunity to thank you guys for that decision and to encourage you to begin a conversation once this bid expires with the residents most affected by the outcome on this property and our HOA board of directors. Across 2 years, this property has been through 2 bidders, and yet there's been no dialogue with those most affected by a change in its status, the Travis Country residents. Those of us here tonight and the hundreds of additional Travis Country neighbors would like to request no further action be taken by AISD until the adjacent property owners and our HOA board has the opportunity to fully explore options for the future of the property. None of AISD's constituents will benefit from a bad outcome for our neighborhood, and we are committed to working with you. Is that a warning, or am I done?
That's pretty close to saying you're done.
Well, okay, all I wanted to do was say good luck this year. All that was left was good luck this year, guys. Y'all are great. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Epstein was a trustee in Richardson ISD, so she can relate. That's right. Cynthia, we're okay? Thank you. Vincent Tovar, Heidi Langen, I probably mispronounced that, my apologies, and Raul Joaquin Abrego.
Hi, my name is Vincent Tovar. I'm a Go Valley parent and leader of Pride of the East Side. I wanted to say that during the IDEA proposal, East Austin community was dismissed as only being reactive, not proactive, when it came to decision making. Well, when we have given our input, it's been dismissed, but we hope that changes this year. We know that IDEA's less than 25% enrollment of the East Side Martin vertical team and 80% free and reduced lunch population is not going to help our vertical team, our East Side Martin vertical team, and is a poor representation of a school within our vertical team. But what are the solutions? Tracking, 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 tracking. Where do our vertical team kids go? Where do they go, and why? We know, because of IDEA, they left our district. How many? We had a family leave today because they wanted to get into Martin, but they lived on the same street that some kids go to Martin, some kids go to Keeling. They were just inside that 2-mile radius. They couldn't work it out, and they went to Southwest Key, East Austin College Prep. Where is the tracking? Where is the data? Why are people leaving? Let's have exit interviews. Let's fix this transportation problem by listening to the community. Let's have a dual language vertical team, stronger STEM resources, the freedom to use strategies that work to reach our students. You know, East Austin schools are told to sign like a curriculum fidelity, but schools in East Austin like Graham and Pickle, they don't follow the curriculum department. And they get exemplary ratings, but where's our choice to use strategies that work to reach our kids? Please visit our vertical team schools and understand that if you don't, you won't know the realities and consequences behind your votes. Thank you.
Thanks. Heidi and Raul Joaquin Abrego. And I apologize, Heidi, I'm not pronouncing your last name right, so if you would say it properly, that'd be helpful.
Okay.
Thanks.
President William, trustees, and Dr. Christophin. My name is Heidi Langen. On August 1st, I began a 2-year term as president of the Association, or Austin Local, of the Association of Texas Professional Educators. The Austin Board of ATPE is looking forward to working with you and our members to create the best possible learning environment for all our students here in AISD. Austin ATPE took part in New Teacher Orientation on August 14th, and we'd like to thank the administration for letting us take part in NTO. The Office of Educator Quality did an awesome job running the NTO this year, and we'd really like to thank their department for all their hard work. This week, August 27th through the 31st, is ATPE Supporting Your Freedom to Teach Week statewide. Our Austin local is celebrating this event with an ice cream social at 2 Amy's ice cream locations, south at Westgate Mall and north at the Arboretum on this coming Friday, August 31st from 3:30 to 5:30. All AISD employees are invited to stop by to one of these 2 Amy's locations to receive a coupon for a free small one-topping of ice cream, or free small one-topping ice cream. There. The coupon may be used right away or saved to be used later. You should have received an email inviting you to attend the event. We would love to have you come to Amy's Ice Cream Social on Friday to join us in celebrating Supporting Your Freedom to Teach Week. Thank you.
Thank you. And Raul Joaquin Abreu. Mr. Abreu, welcome.
So I'm going to give you a copy of what I'm going to say. Is that cool?
Okay, the board secretary, oh, you can just give it right over to this gentleman. Thank you.
Good evening, President Williams, members of the board, superintendent. My name is Joaquin Abrego. I'm Raul Joaquin Abrego, my father's name. And I am a representative and organizer for the Southwest Workers Union. We proudly represent over 300 custodians, cafeteria workers, and transportation workers who are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to wages and working conditions. I am here to address the upcoming 2013-2014 school year budget, which you will most likely start to discuss next month. We're going to make sure that some of these items are addressed for the upcoming budget, so the items are as follows. Concerning the transportation workers, a hard-working group of individuals waking up early to transport the students to and from school, dedicating their lives to their service for the district, we would like to see the implementation of an incentive program to help lower the absenteeism in the transportation department. We know there's one for teachers, and administration has paid up to $5,000 for reaching specific goals, and AISD has paid up to $5 million to professional staff using the REACH program. So we know the district gets federal money and matches it with local district funds for this program, so here's our proposal. One tier, 0 days absent, $500 supplemental pay. Second tier, 1 day absent, $300 supplemental pay. Third tier, 2 days to 4 days absent, $100 supplemental pay. Concerning our cafeteria workers, without whom we wouldn't have the necessary nutrition prepared and served to our students to assist in the focus of learning. For the cafeteria workers, we are requesting for their uniform allowance to be increased from $100 to $200 a year. This will allow them to pay for a good pair of shoes and not have to pull out of their own pocket for the rest of the uniform. Concerning the custodians who dedicate their years to the health and safety necessities of the students who attend Austin schools, we would like to see money invested in the recommendations given from the Texas Association of School Boards study done in 2011. It concluded that the district needs more effective and efficient staffing schedules, regularly training custodians, and transferring direct supervision of custodial operations from campus administration to maintain a high level of service. I'm going to wrap it up. We will be scheduling a meeting with Mr. Nunez to initiate talks of how much will be needed to make these needs, to meet these needs. The school workers are just as important as any teacher or administration, and we look forward to the implementation of our proposals. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Board, that concludes citizens' communication. We can now turn to the consent agenda. Ms. Moya. A couple items for separate
Mr. President,
vote.
items for separate vote are items 16.1, 16.2, and 10.5. So move approval of consent agenda items 10.1 through 10.4, 10.6 through 10.7, items 11 through 15.
Okay, is
So
there a
moved.
second? Is there a second?
Where's the second?
Second?
Robert.
Can I do the second? Sure, second, because it's not 16. Okay, questions? Mr. Snyder?
I'd like to ask that items 14.2, 14.3, 14.4, and 14.5 be pulled for separate vote, please.
14.2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is the board open for separate votes on those items? Okay, I guess we can do those separate. Okay, so Ms. Moya, would you mind
Okay.
restating the motion to exclude those
Right.
4 items?
Hold on, let me write them down. Okay, let's do the motion again.
Thanks.
Move approval of consent agenda items 11.1, 10.1 through 10.4, 10.6 through 10.7, items 11 through 14.1, and 14.6 through 15.
Okay, very good. Mr. Torres, you okay with that second on that one? Okay. We have motion second. Any other discussion? All in favor of that motion, please raise your right hand. Passed unanimously. Let's do the 2 items that are the separate votes, or the 3 items, and then we'll come back to the 14.2 through 14.5.
Okay, move approval of consent agenda items 16.1 and 16.2.
Is there a second? Second, Ms. Brister. Discussion? All in favor of that motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed? Abstain. Passed 7 with 2 abstentions. Okay,
Move approval of item 10.5.
is there a second? 7.5, second? Anybody? We could use a second. Mr. Guzman, thank you, second. Discussion? All in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed? Abstain. So passed 8 with 1 abstention. Okay, let's talk 14.2, 3, 4, and 5. Can we just have a motion on those, or do you need a discussion? Okay, motion.
Move approval of consent agenda items 14.2 through 14.5.
Discussion, second? Second, Ms. Torres. Discussion? All in favor of this motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed? Abstain? Passed.
I'm sorry, excuse me. I didn't understand the motion, or I missed the motion. What was the motion?
The
14
motion was,
through 14.5. And we had 7 votes for, 1 abstention.
Did we have discussion on this?
We
Yeah.
asked for it, but no one answered.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that, and I wondered if we could have discussion.
Well, at this point, we've
already
voted.
voted.
So we got we got seven vote for and 1 abstention. Chris Chris, do we have discussion? Is that board choice at this point? Because we've already actually taken action at this point on these items as the board. Do you have a comment you'd like to make, Ms. Lavoy?
I have a question, but I don't quite know how to raise the question, so perhaps I should visit with the board counsel.
Yeah, why don't you, if that'd be probably good.
All right. Chris, may I speak with you for a moment?
Okay, so I think we actually took a 7 vote for, 1 abstention, and 1 no vote on that particular item. Okay. Dr. Starfin.
Great. Well, good evening, Mr. President, trustees of the board. First, I just want to thank you so much for supporting the administration's request to have the board meeting on the day after the first day of school. While the second day of school is still quite challenging, you can ask anybody out there on the front lines about what it feels like to go for the second day, but it does make a big difference to us, so we really appreciate it. Y'all are awfully thoughtful for making this happen. First, I just want to tell you that it's been a very, very busy month as we prepare for the first day of school, which was actually yesterday. And this evening, I just wanted to take some time to describe the events and all the activities leading up to the first day of school. I'm beaming because it has really been a great start. First, I just have to tip my hat to all of our grounds workers, facilities people. This summer was a bear, but they did over 120 projects, many of them, you know, significant facelifts for schools. But I mean, I was in schools today. I'll tell you about them when I get there. You could check out the blog where I probably belabored the point more than I needed to. But I'm not going to it just yet. But I just want to say there were teachers that were saying, I've worked here 20 years and I finally got the accordion wall replaced, or we got the bathroom for our smaller kids, pre-K and K, in the classroom, so there are less accidents. I mean, these are little things, but they're huge for staff members who are trying to work, at the appropriate grade level with kids. So I just want to say thank you, and especially to the grounds guys that put in those gorgeous potted plants at the Dobie pre-K village. It was just adorable. So thank you so much. These projects were everyday small things that you would expect to see. I updated the board every week on where we were, but I just think they've put a very special touch on so many things. The little pastel colors on the walls of the buildings, the portables that looked quite frankly disgusting, that we've had. I know I'm looking at you back there, but they were so gross when they moved there. I couldn't stand to watch it transform, but they're finished and they just look like little lollipops. Just adorable, Willy Wonka quality. So thank you, Kurt and Paul and Lawrence. They were fabulous, just fabulous. The whole team. I mean, I just really, if it wasn't sweat, it was actually tears when we were out there in the sun today. It was beautiful. But I'll back it up a little bit and give you a blow-by-blow that I hope you're as excited about as I am. On August 8th, we welcomed 450 AISD administrators, including principals and assistant principals and central office, back to kick off the new school year. I want to say thank you to Anderson High School. They hosted us. It's always tough on a school right before the opening to have a bunch of people in their building messing up everything right before the teachers get there, but the band members, the dancers, the cheerleaders, even the award-winning Trojan mascot was out cheering us along. They were awfully sweet and just so wonderful. The kids just really threw themselves into making our administrators feel welcome. Our focus this year was really about unpacking all of our diagnostic assessments, including the Broad Report and all the latest data that's come in about AISD, which I'll tell you about in a second. All of it really great news, but we really took the time to refine our plans for the upcoming school year. We took an opportunity to really welcome our new staff, get everybody going that have been here for a while and need a little rejuvenation. We revisited the board's goals and our priorities for the district, and we announced any new initiatives also, including our new partnership with the University of Texas. It's the Staff Attendance Incentive Program, where we're partnering with them to reward staff members. This was something that came out of Broad, that staff members really want to be, awarded for excellence, and they were helping us work through that by giving our staff members tickets to games and things, and we'll have a big kickoff event in mid-September. You'll hear more about that as the school year goes along. But I also just want to do a little shout out to Danny Mabe, who is one of their strength coaches, and I know Trustee Moya loves to hear about those things, but I want to tell you this coach was pretty motivational and had us all up out of our seats, you know, screaming and chanting about our health, if you can believe it. So it was really fun, and we ended the day doing a desert team exercise. And while you had to be there to really appreciate this comment, but just know that AISD leaders, if they crash in a desert somewhere in the West, that they will never give their teams salt tablets, which is apparently certain death, as we found out. But we learned a lot about how to really be good teams and how to really work with each other. So I want to thank everyone, especially Kimiko Cartwright and Jan, for working so hard to make what is a very unwieldy group of people get quite focused and do a lot of good work that they'll be taking back to their schools. And that led us to our next big group of people, our new teacher induction. I agree with Heidi, who spoke earlier about the teacher orientation. I thought it was fabulous. It was incredible. At Aikens High School, I just love it when the high schools try to outdo each other, but it went from Anderson to Aikens to Crockett, and so each one just got more crazy and more unbelievable. But at Aikens, over 800 new teachers came in. The kids were all there, the bands, everything, confetti, lots of pump you up stuff. We had so many seasoned new teachers. We played one of my favorite games, That's Me, and that's where we discovered that we had a lot of folks who were 20, 30-year veterans coming to AISD, really bringing their skills, and so many people with incredible academic talents and backgrounds. I mean, it was probably 20 teachers that were saying they spoke 3 to 6 different languages. It was just an incredible talent pool. I think you'll be really proud of the people that were recruited, and even more proud of the mentors and the other folks that are going to help them navigate their way through AISD. Then, the very next night, many of you as board members joined me when we congratulated 154 AISD students in our summer graduation ceremony at Palmer Auditorium. And so these are for families where kids were graduating at different times. Some were actually 3-year graduates, and others were coming in on the back end of the school year, having to make sure they had all of their credits sorted out for graduation. But it was a lovely ceremony. We've really changed the approach to that ceremony. We had it at the Palmer Center, the Palmer Center Auditorium for a reason. We want our summer graduation to feel like our June graduations, to ensure that kids understand that they are going to be treated just like everyone else, and that their families know that we really want them to have a special experience when they walk across the stage. And then we had the district's 8th annual Back to School Bash, Saturday the 18th. 7,000 plus people came through the doors to receive lots of services. Our children and families received backpacks just loaded with school supplies. An A+ Federal Credit Union and Cap City Kids were responsible for so many of those goodies. Both partners volunteered generously to support our effort, and they even went beyond the call of duty by sending tons of volunteers to help with the distribution. And if you haven't been to a back-to-school event, I'm going to tell you, it's like running a concert. There are lines all over the place, people, kids, strollers, a lot of things going on. But we were so grateful that Seton Hospital made themselves available to help us with immunizations, and Dale's Children's Hospital provided our families with free safety seats for small children riding in cars. So if you ever wondered, I just want you to know that Austin really loves our kids, and we just want to thank you so much to our partners for being there when we needed it. And speaking of partners, the City of Austin, the Austin Police Department, the Austin Fire Department, and the Travis County Sheriff's Department were all on hand to basically scare the Jawillikers out of everybody if you were messing around in a school zone. They were super serious about texting. It's dangerous and it's against the law, but on top of that, they made sure that they supported us when we were trying to train families and kids about safety at crosswalks and safety driving through on busy school mornings. Our City of Austin folks were really committed to helping us get the message out, along with Univision TV and radio. They gave us tons of media support, especially in Spanish language, where there were Spanish language needs, and we just really appreciate the 100+ departments in AISD that came together to help us with that as well. And I just wanted to say thank you again to Timmy Baranoff, who comes out every year with the supply drive and distribution center held at Sanchez Elementary School, both in partnership with KVU, Austin, and HEB. The For the Children provided school supplies directly to schools, materials that schools need, and those are schools that qualify for free and reduced lunch. I also just wanted to say that in addition to these things, we did the big lead up to the all call of last Wednesday morning, when we welcomed 12,000 AISD employees back to the district. And at our all-staff convocation, I just want to thank the School of Crockett, their cheerleaders, all their teams that came out to support our theme this year around teamwork makes the dream work. And they participated, got us all jazzed up. I want to thank Board President Williams and Secretary Moya for joining us and really getting into the mix. I saw y'all dancing in your seats. But speaking of dancing and singing, we just have a little something we want to share with you, which we were excited about because for us, the U.S. Olympic team and all of the medals that the United States and won, both gold medals and all-around medals, were I think at the very top, right, or number one, yep, across the board, all countries. So we were really excited when we saw Austin athletes participating, and which really got us excited about the idea of doing more around teamwork. But we were pretty inspired on the Olympic team's Call Me Maybe video. And we're hoping that across AISD in our community, our video will go viral around support and how to get support from our district. So I'm going to ask our team to let the video go and learn a little bit more about how you can get support in AISD.
Okay, Senior Cabinet, is there anything else left on the agenda?
Superintendent Karstoffen, it's time to leave for the convocation.
Okay, see you there.
Hey, this district is swell, but sometimes it's hard to tell who to call in a nutshell for support day to day. District teamwork lends a hand, no problems too small or grand. Let us help you understand how work can feel like play. Finances rockin', benefits got people talking. Call ahead or walk. We got all the answers, baby. IT can help you. Emails are hazy, and here's my number. So call me maybe. Hey, need the police when things get crazy. Here's my number. So call me maybe. We're transportation. We hold the bus key. Here's my number. So call me maybe. Questions on paychecks. When will you pay me? Use payroll's number. So call me maybe. When in a legal pitfall, no need to slow to a crawl. The legal team has it all. We help you find your way. Develop your teaching skills, math problems and grammar drills. Engage students with new frills. Learn how on PT day. Maintenance is proven, helping you to get a moving. Track record is proven. Holler if you need us, baby. HR is with you from A to Z. And here's my number. So call me maybe. The chief school's office.
call academics. Here's my number, so call me maybe. Food service is great, the food is tasty. Here's my number, so call me maybe. The Welcome Center, your directory. Here's my number, so call me maybe. We all work as a team, we share the same dream. We plan and we meet to achieve as a team. Welcome back, AISD. We miss you so bad. We miss you so bad. So call me maybe. I just wanted to be sure that I want to thank the promo team, Alex Sanchez and Oscar, and all those people that rewrote, oh gosh, I can't think of them all, but what's her name? She rewrote the song for us. Kelsey, oh my gosh, she is so clever, so very clever. Was able to take all these crazy ideas and put them together, and of course, Oscar was behind the scenes trying to make all the video work and tracked us all down. So I just want to say thanks to them. We couldn't have done it without them, and all the staff that just, met after work and just on their own time whenever we were available to pull it all together. So thank you. Y'all were great. The team was just fabulous. And so I wanted to, of course, take credit for that amazing voice, but it was on the video, but I have to just say her name again. Sydney Holt is a rock star. You have to watch her career. It was worth doing this so she could put it in her portfolio to go ahead and run off to New York or Hollywood or whatever she's going to do. We're really glad that our students were able to participate. You didn't really see them all, but they were doing a lot of the things that were most creative in it, like making the numbers for the Fayette people. Anyway, but our Crockett cheerleaders were fabulous too. They were super peppy during the convocation. I won't do the cheer. People ask me not to, but I have been doing it every morning when we got on the bus at 5 a.m. to go visit schools. So for those people who've been in the bus with me, they're not loving me right now. But we do that cheer all the time. Do you remember how it goes, Mr. Williams? No. You want to do it? No. Okay. But there's a lot.
You could show me.
Yeah. Hey, give me an A. I'm just kidding. But we have a lot to be peppy about. And I know it was a great cheer. They were so good. And that was oh God, I'm just drawing a blank on names. Melissa was our cheerleader. She was a former cheerleader, and we just brought her into promo, but she went and worked with the cheerleaders. Fabulous. They were just great. Anyway, but we have a lot to be peppy about. In case you don't remember, we did a couple of little fun exercises using elementary methods, and it's literally like a round of applause. Can y'all practice? Can we do all that? Right? And we can do the clams, the clapping clams. Okay, great. Okay, so here are a couple. We'll do those two just because they're fun. Just remember, AISD elementary and middle school students made gains on STAR in every subject. You can do it too. Rounds of applause. Now we're going to do the little clappers. On the new end of course exams, our students ranked #1 in reading, writing, and Algebra 1 compared to all the other Big 8 urban districts. We'll go back to a round of applause. AISD had the highest campus passing rate for AYP compared to all of the other big urban school districts. On our nation's report card, AISD ranked first in the nation on 8th grade math, second in the nation on 4th grade math compared to all NAEP urban districts. Graduation rates in 2011 increased by nearly 2 percentage points, finally topping 80%. Ken? Oh, Ken just remembered the firecracker. Okay, so hold this one. Okay, can we get a camera on Ken and demonstrate? Ready? Ready? Demonstrate. There he goes. Here he goes.
I'll do it with you, Ken.
Ah. Okay, you ready? Here it goes. The last one. More kids are going to college. Post-secondary enrollment rates for AISD graduates went up a whopping 5 percentage points to 87%. Firecracker, here we go. Ah. Nice job. We had fun at the convocation. Or we did. Okay, great. Just wanted to be sure. Okay, so finally it was the first day of school, and here we go. Went to a bunch of different sites, but it was really busy, really fun, and unbelievably hot in Texas. So we saw a lot of our new friends, some old friends, and we were just blown away by all the fun stuff going on. I brought some with me just to show you, but first I had to stop and say thank you to our 20-year veteran bus driver, Irene Flores, who navigated more crazy drivers and parents really neat lessons taking kids across the street. Use the crosswalks, but that's our friend Irene. She was our expert driver, and she was up with us at the crack of dawn every day, and has been with us throughout the school year when we needed her. So thank you, Irene. And we moved on. We did our big kickoff at the Anita Uphouse Early Childhood Center. We were so happy. Thank you, Mr. Guzman, for ensuring that that building got built to help relieve overcrowding at Linder Elementary School. It was so great, and you'll never guess who's inside that panda. It's not Mr. Guzman. No, it's not Mel. Do y'all know Michelle? Michelle Resnick, do you know Michelle? That's Michelle in there. It was like Christmas when she took off that panda head. I had no idea, but she was in there. That panda was flipping and clapping. This is why, it was all sweaty inside and everything, but she was really great. Congressman Doggett joined us, and even Anita Uphouse. They joined us for the press conference, and she was just an emotional mess. She just was so happy. And there were lots of little pandas that were all in the trees of knowledge in the library. We then moved on to Ann Richards, the School for Young Women Leaders. Oh, you didn't put all of them? Oh, okay, so I'll just talk about this one. Don't go to Lanier yet. But we went to Ann Richards, and it was really fabulous. Got to see the new sixth graders come in. And just remember, this is their first graduating class. And while I know that those ninth graders started with me, I'm starting my fourth year. They're starting their last year of high school. And I am not a crier. I am not, y'all know I don't cry, right? Could barely get through just saying hello, seeing them grown up and ready to go to college, and so jazzed. It was just so emotional, and everyone, the kids were great, and it was just wonderful to see them all coming together on their first graduation. But, thank you for doing that. It was really fabulous, and I do think they have a picture of me weeping, but it's very small. Yes, that was me. You can't say I was blubbering, but that was that little Ann Richards star. And then in the gym, big, gorgeous pictures of Ann Richards. The band was there. It was lovely, just a lovely kickoff. Then we ran over to Cunningham, and I have to pause at Cunningham because Miss Moya has been telling me so much about what's been going on over there. I wanted to make sure I had them on my list, but Amy Lloyd, the principal, was fabulous, and I'm going to focus on them. This was a great school. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. It's really good. A little bit more. This teacher is the best teacher ever. She is our Teacher of the Year for Cunningham, and that's Emily Smith. And she has her own website. If you go in my blog and click on it, it takes you to the Hive Society, where literally these kids are doing what they call insightful conversations with literature. And she makes these, you have to show my picture. She makes all these little things for the kids, but this is Professor Pickles, and she makes them all, and you can see them all over her room, and he helps people get motivated. You saw me in the picture with her with Professor Pickles. Cunningham also has a farm. They picked all these peas, and I was going to make them tonight for the board meeting, but yesterday. It's a long day at school. So anyway, so the piece came right out of the farm. And then the last piece is this school is one of our sites, not only for dual language, but for SEL. And so just to show you some of the work that they're doing with Castle, I thought this one might be good for us in a board meeting. You know, it's a budget night. It shows you about how to manage your emotions, right? This is social emotional learning. So I'm going to ask you to help me. Do you mind? Mr. Williams, will you help me? So one of the things we taught the kids, and one of the teachers gave this to me. You can stand up and grab one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it teaches you how, grab a little red thing. It teaches you how to breathe. And so imagine this is your stomach. So you're inhaling and close it. Exhaling, right? So you inhale according to Dr. Dow. You have to inhale from the appropriate part of your diaphragm. So you have to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and one more time, inhale, exhale. Okay, and so this was a classroom favorite. I didn't go anywhere in a school where kids weren't going crazy for the breathing ball. So there are lots of fun ways to kind of demonstrate some of these things, but I just wanted you to know that our SEL curriculum is alive and underway, and Cunningham was by far, if you scroll down more in it, you'll see that 3 teachers even teamed up and we're doing, do you keep going down? Right there. These 3 teachers were teaming, the kids were crazy about the ball, but they were teaming up and they do lots of cheers and things and talk the kids through how to self-manage their behavior. So that it's not teacher dependent. But these teachers were great, and they worked together as a pod. It was just a great experience at Cunningham. I had to just pause and gush on them, and really encourage you to go see the website of our teacher of the year at Cunningham. And then we went to Riley, where we were able to learn more about the changes in our food and nutrition program. We've received a grant, and we were able to reorder and rethink our food lines. And so kids are introduced to vegetables and all their nutritious stuff first, and then and they're required now, which we didn't do in the past. They have to take a piece of fruit or a vegetable, and then they can have fun down the rest of the line. But you can scroll down, Riley, a little bit and show some of the other pictures. Keep going. Oh, gosh. I don't know. My chair isn't breaking. I know, but my chair keeps collapsing. And then we were in a 3rd grade bilingual class, and that was a lot of fun, too. So I just want to say that Riley was one of the sites, and I just want to thank some of the media coverage and helping educate parents about how to support the food and nutrition pieces of our schools. And then we went to a lot of the AAFR sites. So I did Webb, which was Webb in the primary center. We also went to Dobie in the pre-K center. We went to Ortega, Go Valley, and Allen, Idea Allen, to look at how all of the AFR work was going, especially the construction and some of the investments that the board approved at the end of the school year. And this Go Valley was an example of a school where, I mean, teachers were just so thrilled to have the new facility investments for the kids they were receiving. And so we were able to do just a big school-wide facelift, freshen up, that made a big difference. So I just encourage y'all to go over and see it. And then finally, we ended our day. Oh, I forgot about Graham. Graham, if you'll remember, that the principal of Graham, Blaine Helwig, was nominated both for the HEB Principal of the Year and the AISD Principal of the Year. And so we went over to see them and just wish them well. But as usual, they were totally on top of things. And I just want to thank Ms. Brister and Ms. Bradley for the double teaming of the North Central overcrowding. Graham was one of the schools that was grossly overcrowded, and he was saying how nice it was today to, yes, be a full school, but not bursting at the seams. They got about 150 or 40 students of relief, and it's worked out so well at the Dobie site. We thought we might need a lot of transportation for the itty-bitties, but we didn't. Parents are actually walking their kids to school, so I think it's going to dwindle to almost nothing, unless you really need the transportation. But it really worked out well. And I did ride the school buses to see how the routes work. Those where the hub was Barrington and where the hub was Graham. And so everybody was working in real time to work out tweaks, and it was just fabulous. So I was just thank everybody for hosting us and letting us participate. And we ended the day at Lanier High School. My updo tonight is compliments of the cosmetology class, who I would think I was being very brave. It was the second day of school, so and I look like a sweaty person coming off a school bus that didn't have air conditioning. So they really freshened me up for tonight's board meeting, and I just want to thank everyone there who made that happen so I could look presentable tonight after a long, hot day in AISD unair-conditioned air buses. Thank you so much. Thank you. It was all the kids. It was all the kids and their teachers. They did a fabulous job. So, Mr. President, trustees of the board, the school year is off to a great start. I want you to know we welcomed roughly 78,000 kids, and you know how this works in AISD. After the holiday, another big round of students come running in, but we did transport about 22,000 kids on 512 buses with 383 routes, and we served 55,000 meals. But our schools were shiny, they were open, ready to go. I want to thank our human resources, human capital department for getting everyone hired. It was a bear. I've heard about districts across the state of Texas that were starting the school year with 300, 400 teachers short. I just want to thank our staff in Austin for staying with us and really working with us to get everyone on board and ready to be teaching and working on the first and second days of schools. So, Mr. President, trustees of the board, that concludes our presentation, and thank you for another wonderful start of the year.
Thanks, Dr. Kastarfin, and really thank you and your team and all the people that put this together. I mean, I think you described it very well, but it's probably hard for the public to understand how much effort goes into really the last 2 weeks, getting schools ready, making sure the facilities are in place. Lawrence, Kurt, team, thank you for doing that. For all the people, the induction, had a chance to go to the back to school bash. It is like a rock concert, getting everything organized. And I know Vince and Miss Bradley was there, and so it is just remarkable. But the excitement, I was able to go to a high school on Monday as well, and the excitement that people have really for when, a lot of stuff going on, but there's a lot of people that are really excited. And so hopefully we can capitalize on that and continue to build it. And really thanks to our staff for putting it all together. And for you, it's tough. I don't think people really appreciate how early you're getting up, how late you're coming here, and making sure all this happens, and to all the team that supports you doing that. So thank you for all that effort. Mr. Guzman.
Everybody in this room has probably dropped off their child at one time or another, but I have the pleasure of dropping off my two grandkids, one at Travis Heights and one at Fulmore. In the morning, it's not a problem because my 12-year-old that goes to Fulmore gets off with my 5-year-old grandson and drops him off at Travis Heights. In the afternoon, I have to pick him up by myself. So they came up with an idea of putting a deal on your mirror that has the teacher's name and the child's name, and you're supposed to follow the line, and follow the cars, which is impossible because people park and then they leave their cars, and it breaks the line and so on. Anyway, the first day, which was yesterday, I couldn't do that, so I took the deal and I walked over there and I said, "Here's mine." They said, "No, you're supposed to go in the car." I said, "Well, I couldn't do it," and so on. So everybody was bunched up there, walking. So then everybody went back and got their placards or their deals and went and presented them. Today it worked a little better, but the principal is out there running back and forth, and that street is real narrow right there in Travis. Oh yeah, and so anyway, it's amazing what they come up with to try to control the traffic and so on. And it's also amazing that I don't think there's been a single accident there. Kids crossing back and forth, and my daughter and my son both went there, and in I guess 20 some odd years there's never been an accident. But I mean it's chaotic, but they handle it.
Don't be jinxing anything, Sam. So Thanks. It's a huge orchestration putting this all together, and it's remarkable. And thanks to the entire district and the staff. We hope you had a great summer vacation. Welcome back. A lot to do, but a lot of opportunity and a bunch of great kids to do it for. So thank you very much. Okay, now let us turn. We got a couple items on our board agenda this evening for action, and the first item is to approve the fiscal year 2012-13 recommended budget, and that's what we typically do at this time for each of our past years. Dr. Christarfin.
Yes, Mr. President, trustees, under state law, as a taxing unit, a school district's governing body must adopt a tax rate by official action and set it out in written resolution, ordinance, or order. The superintendent is required to prepare a proposed budget covering all estimated revenues and proposed expenditures of the district for the following fiscal year on a date set by the State Board of Education, currently August 20th. The requirements also call for the budget to be prepared according to generally accepted accounting principles and rules adopted by the State Board of Education and to be adopted no later than August 31st of each year. The board discussed the preliminary budget on February 27th and March 5th, hosted 2 community conversations on April 13th and April 17th, and 1 district-wide staff conversation on April 18th. 2 public hearings were held on April 23rd and June 18th. The Board of Trustees discussed the recommended budget on June 11th and at the June 18th regular board meeting, approved the fiscal year 2013 expenditure budget and proposed compensation adjustment for fiscal year 2013, only to provide the equivalent of a 3% compensation increase to all regular and full-time staff. The fiscal year 2013 recommended budget for the general fund, food service, and debt service fund totals $950,510,775 for revenue and other sources, and $979,502,769 for the expenditures and other uses. Since the projected revenue for all funds do not meet the recommended expenditures, approval of appropriations of $28,976,911 from the general fund balance and $582,456 from the food services fund balance and $462,627 from the debt service fund balance are also being requested. The fiscal year 2013 recommended general fund budget includes approximately $14,160,000 to support a compensation adjustment to provide the equivalent of a 3% increase for all regular, full-time, and part-time staff eligible for benefits benefits. This payment will be funded out of district reserves. The proposed tax rate for maintenance and operations will be set at $1.07.9 per $100 of assessed valuation for tax year 2012. The proposed tax rate for interest and sinking will be set at 16 30 per $100 of assessed valuation for tax year 2012. Mr. President and trustees, we're ready to proceed at your direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Christarfin, and thanks to you and your team and Nicole and her team for putting together the budget, and having the public meetings, and having the opportunity for discussion. Okay, board, so we've got 3 action items before us tonight. The first is to approve the recommended budget for the 2012-13 year. And just to remind the board, we did approve an expenditure budget back in June, because the school year, as we know, has already started. And we were trying to make sure that the expenditure budget was in place so the campuses had their budgets prior to the start of the school year. But tonight we are going to take action on the aggregate budget, revenue and expenditures. And so I will entertain a motion to approve the superintendent's recommended budget and fund balances authorizations for the fiscal year 2012-13 school year. Ms. Moya.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move approval of the revenue and expenditure budget for general fund, food service fund, and debt service fund for the fiscal year 2013 in attachment 1 in tonight's August 28th, 2012 board notebook, and the appropriation of $27,976,911 from the general fund balance, $582,456 from the food service fund balance, and $462,627 from the debt service fund balance.
Thank you, Ms. Moya. Is there a second? Second, Ms. Torres. Okay, discussion. Mr. Torres.
Mr. Williams, just two comments. First of all, I continue to be amazed at the work that Ms. Conley Abrams and her staff do in putting together the actual document, the budget book. The readability, the clarity, the understanding of all the terms for something that is extremely complicated, as you know. I just want to, once again, recognize the outstanding work that you're doing in allowing the public and trustees, quite frankly, to be able to understand the budget, find the information, and be able to explain to the community where we're spending the money and how it's organized. So thank you very much for the outstanding job you do. I'm very thrilled for the work that you do in that, you and your team do in that area. The second thing is I'm really glad that we're able to offer the 3% merit increase to our staff. I continue to be amazed at how people that choose to go into this profession in Texas do so. They do so not for the money, they do so for the dedication, but that doesn't mean we should take advantage of that situation. I think it's incumbent upon us as trustees to continue to try to find not just this merit increase, but ways that we can continue to support both larger increases in their salary and increases that target those in the district that are doing outstanding work rather than just giving everyone an across-the-board merit increase. I think there's so many people that do such an outstanding job. We have to have a way to recognize those folks all across the district. So once again, I'm very supportive of the 3% increase, but I think we need to try and figure out, even in these tough times, how we continue to raise the salary of the folks that really make a difference in the lives of our children.
Thank you. Other comments or questions? Mr. Guzman.
I want to build upon Mr. Torres' comments regarding the pay increase. I think all of us are real glad that we were able to do that from reserve, but I think that we need to keep the TRE proposal and consideration in the forefront, in the front burner, and start talking about it now so that it doesn't catch us, with expectations that we may not be able to deal with. So if we start considering it now and talking about it seriously now, I think that when the time comes to have that TRE, we will be in good order to proceed with it. So I want us to continue to talk about it, but do it from now until the time that we actually put it forth. Thank you.
Ms. Moya.
Thank you. And to further add on, I don't know if in a TRE if there would be a salary increase included for our classified staff and an increase in the hourly rate wages. What am I trying to say? The hourly rate. I'm not sure. So if it is, somebody just needs to tell me that it's in there, so I'll quit fretting over it. And if it's not, then I would like for us to develop a strategy in order to increase the hourly rate of our classified employees to get them to a living wage or as close to that as we possibly can. Because a 3% one-time salary adjustment is not quite as much for our hourly employees as it is for some of our salaried employees. And our lower waged staff can benefit a whole lot more in a whole lot of other ways for an increase. So I want us to keep our classified staff and our lowest paid employees on the top of our front burner. Thank you.
So, Ms. Moya, were you asking whether the 3% for this next year includes classified? or are you asking just in the future you want to make sure that classified are considered? So I think Dr. Christopherson.
Mr. President, trustees of the board, yes, classified staff are included in this action on the 3%.
Right, but does that, okay, yes, I got that part.
Okay.
What I'm not clear on is on the TRE.
Oh.
With the TRE, does the TRE include an adjustment in the hourly wage, the per hour $9 per hour
There's
thing?
no TRE yet, right?
Yeah,
The
but,
TR in the
but
future.
because because it came up,
Right.
I wanted to ask if that does include changing or adjusting the hourly rates for our employees, those who are paid by the hour, especially the lowest paid ones, and if it does not, then I'm interested that we find a strategy in order to accomplish that.
Just make sure.
Is that making, are
Well,
you
so there is
getting
no
it?
There is no TRE.
I know that, I know
In
that.
the future, that'll be up to the board to decide how they wanted
Yes.
the budget that's associated with the TRE to whether to include classified. For this action, the budget does include a 3% compensation
Got that
increase
part.
for all people.
So in a future TRE, I'm advocating for a future TRE to include
Okay.
an adjustment in the hourly rate for our hourly employees. To be included, because I don't recall in the past if it included something like that. Okay.
Mr. Snyder.
Dr. Scharfen, I just wanted to check with you regarding the schedule for next year's budget. I believe we're supposed to start discussing it in the September timeframe. Is that correct?
Mr. President, trustees of the board, trustee Schneider, yes.
Okay. There's obviously been some discussion about a TRE and wages for increases for our staff, both classified teachers. I totally agree that we need to pay our teachers more. We're at the bottom of the scale locally and need to do something about it, simply to become more competitive and keep good teachers. And that's what I would like to place an emphasis on. The problem I see and why I ask about the discussion for next year is that we are going to be doing this at a time that will likely be hostile to public education. And I see some very tough discussions that this board is going to have along with the superintendent and Ms. Conley-Abrams in terms of prioritizing where our funds go and how they are used. So I would like to encourage you, Dr. Korstaffen and Ms. Brister, in terms of doing the scheduling for the calendar, that we have ample time for those discussions. And we are very realistic about the amount of money that we will have and the priorities in which we want to spend it.
Other comments or questions? Okay, I just want to, that in addition to the kudos to Ms. Conley-Abrams and her team and Dr. Christopherson, is y'all's management of the fund balance has been remarkable. What I think hopefully everybody understands is we're drawing $28 million plus out of fund balance, roughly $28 million out of the general fund balance to allow us to operate this school year. And we've got a fund balance reserve that enables us to do that. It's not sustainable. So I think the challenge we're going to have is we start trying to go forward and mix the demands for increases, investments, salary, with the need to have a balanced budget at some point in the relatively near future, knowing we have a school finance litigation underway, and we also have a legislative session coming. So a lot of tough challenges in the future, but I think tonight is an important thing to say, to congratulate and celebrate that we actually put together a budget that does get, I think, the best outcome we can possibly imagine for this year, given the budget constraints we're dealing with. The fund management has allowed us to do the compensation payment. Making it permanent is going to require some sustained revenue streams, but the work that's been done this year, I think, is remarkable. Thank you very much for putting it together. We have a motion and a second on the budget. Any further discussion? All in favor of that motion, please raise your right hand. Passed unanimously. Thank you, board, and thank you, team, Dr. Starfin and Ms. Conley-Abrams and team. Okay, so now let us turn to the tax rate. We have two separate actions related to the tax rate. The first is the ordinance related to the ad valorem tax rate for maintenance and operation. As Dr. Starfin mentioned, that would be set at a consistent rate with the past year, and actually for the fifth consecutive year at $1 1.079 cents per $100. I think there's been a lot of discussion about school district taxes going up, other jurisdictions' taxes going up. I want to reiterate that this is the 5th consecutive year that we've kept the maintenance and operation tax rate the same, despite some pretty daunting challenges in public eds and school finance. So I'm willing to entertain a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for the maintenance and operation tax rate for this 2012 tax year. Is there a motion? Ms. Moya, thank you.
Okay. Mr. President and board members, I move that we adopt an ordinance levying the ad valorem tax and setting the tax rate for maintenance and operation of the public free schools of the Austin Independent School District for tax year 2012 in attachment 1, and I'm supposed to read this thing, right?
The first paragraph, I think.
Just the first one? Okay. Article 1, ordinance levying ad valorem tax and setting tax rate for maintenance and operation of public free schools of the Austin Independent School District for tax year 2012. Article 1, the Board of Trustees of the Austin Independent School District hereby levies an ad valorem tax for maintenance and operation of the free public schools of the Austin Independent School District for the tax year 2012, and the rate is set at $1.0790 per $100 of assessed valuation for tax year 2012.
So moved, right?
So moved.
So is there a second? Second, Mr. Torres. Okay, discussion. All in favor of that motion, please raise your right hand. Passed unanimously. Thank you, board. Okay, now we will entertain a motion on the interest and sinking fund, which is the principal and interest on bond indebtedness tax rate. Last year, that tax rate was 16.3 cents per $100, and that is again to be unchanged for this current year. Is there a motion, Ms. Moya?
Okay, Mr. President, board members, I move that we adopt an ordinance levying ad valorem tax and setting tax rate in order to provide a sinking fund to pay principal and interest on bond indebtedness of the Austin Independent School District for the tax year 2012. And the ordinance reads, Article 1, the Board of Trustees of the Austin Independent School District hereby levies an ad valorem tax for purpose of providing a sinking fund to be used to pay principal and interest on bonds issued or assumed by the Austin Independent School District, and the rate is set at .163 cents per $100, .163
$1.63, so really 16.3 cents.
0 point blah is set at $0.163 per $100 of assessed valuation for tax year 2012.
Thank you, Ms. Moya. So moved, right? So, okay, second. Is there a second? Thank you, Ms. Torres. Discussion. All in favor of that motion, please raise your right hand. Passed unanimously. Thank you, board. Okay, I appreciate y'all's efforts. I appreciate the board's support of the administration's recommendation to keep our tax rates the same for this year. We understand we have some challenges going forward, and we're going to need to build public support for a tax increase in the future. I think it's important for the board to have conversations early so we can, for lack of a better term, get out there and claim a date. So the public is understanding that that's when this board is looking, and this district is looking to go for a tax election. As we know, with the federal and state budget cuts, there's a lot of pressure on local jurisdictions to raise taxes, and it's important for all the local governmental jurisdictions to prioritize and sequence in a way that doesn't overwhelm our taxpayers. This was not our year, but next year needs to be our year, and so we need to get out in front of that and claim some dates quickly so that the rest of the other governmental entities know that that's what we're anticipating doing. Okay, so those conversations will be scheduled and will be occur hopefully shortly. Okay, we've one other item on the agenda this night, board. I'm actually listening to the presenter, and it's really something we're required to do, which is endorse a nominee for the TASB Board of Directors, Region 13. It's position C. As you may know, we as a large district have a automatic representative on the TASB Board of Directors, which is Texas Association of School Boards. In our case, that has been Ms. Moya for many years. Thank you, Ms. Moya, for your service. But we also are scheduled to take action on the nomination of another representative for position C, and it's somewhat the at-large position. And just to be clear, board members of TASB supervise, control, and direct the affairs of that organization and attend at least 4 members a year. They serve a 3-year term and within a maximum of 3 additional terms. TASB encourages school districts to endorse candidates who represent their region, which in this case of Austin ISD is Region 13, and endorsements must be approved and submitted to TASB by tomorrow. So this month, the board officers have made were agreed to present to the full board for recommendation. And I'm going to say that the recommendation from the officers is Verna Jean Mott from Pflugerville ISD is the nominee for TASB Region 13, Position C, and I will entertain a motion for action to endorse Ms. Mott.
Do that too, I guess.
Thanks.
Mr. President and fellow board members, I nominate or move that we endorse nominee to fill the vacancy of the Board of Directors of the Texas Association of School Boards in Region 13, Position C, is Verna Jean Mott.
Is there a second? Second, Mr. Snyder. Discussion. Mr. Guzman.
No, I simply want to know a little bit about the persons, because I don't know them, you know, how long they've served and so on.
Okay, I'll do my best to address that. I think we've got a bio somewhere, well, at least we got one previously, but Ms. Mott has been, I don't remember how many years she's been on the Pflugerville ISD board, but she filled an unexpired term on the TASB board, which is now coming up for election for a full 3-year term. She is a former AISD English teacher at Austin High and a dedicated school board member, an advocate for public education across our entire Region 13, and is the organizer for the 3 of us who are representatives in Region 13, which includes, I just forgot her name, from Manor ISD, Desiree Cornelius Fisher.
Right.
And the 3 of us, Verna Jean's the group activity leader to make sure that we reach out to all of the districts in Region 13 to make sure that they're aware of everything that's going on. She's very involved and she's very dedicated, and I personally support her very strongly to continue her service.
Okay. But Mr. Snyder.
Mr. Guzman, I've known Verna Jean for a number of years as well. She's very active in the Central Texas School Board Association. She's active in the National School Boards Association Federal Relations Network, and she's done quite a bit with the TASB legislative group that sets the agendas for the legislative portion of TASB. So I think she's extremely qualified, and I thoroughly support her as well.
And Ms. Guzman, I got to mention, she's a graduate of the University of Texas. That's got to move. I mean, I don't know what
There
else
you
needs to be
go.
said, but I just want to make sure that's.
That should seal the deal
Okay.
right there.
And actually, I think if I recall, her father, or grandfather, she's got multiple members that have been on the Pflugerville School Board for years, so she's got it's in her DNA. Okay, so we have a motion for Ms. Mott.
Former
Second.
teacher, AISD.
That's very important. I don't know what the ASD hand signal is, so.
Neither.
So,
Give me an A.
Okay. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, we have motion second. All in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Passed unanimously. Thank you, board. Okay, we are open for cheer tryouts outside with Dr. Gostarfin. And it has been a long 2 days, for all of our staff and our team and for our leadership group. And this is the first week of school, and it's not going to slow down for several months. So we're going to adjourn this evening and wish everybody good luck. Welcome back from summer. Thanks, and we'll see you next meeting.